Hello everyone, and welcome to a episode of Fallout It Never Fucking Changes on Tales of Myth and Mayhem. My name's Michelle. We've been gone for 3 weeks because I almost burned my house down. That's just true, that's just a thing that happened. But we're not here to talk about me risking life and limb by charging my laptop and having a lamp on at the same time. We're here to play some Fallout. And here to play the Fallout are our players. Say hello, players.
Hello, players.
We have Jade, we have Carl.
Hello.
And no, we don't have Jade. No, we don't have Carl. We have Catherine playing Jade. We have Vincent playing Carl. We have Lavaita playing Augusta. And Tim, who usually plays Freddie, is not here this week. He's seeing his family. So here, sitting in his chair, is our friendly, talkative mutant, Jimbo. Say hello, Jimbo. That's right, Jimbo can't talk because he is, in fact, a JPEG. So, shall we get started?
Absolutely. I'm ready. Let's go, Michelle.
Wonderful. So let's do a little bit of a recap of the last session because it's been like 3 weeks, which is silly. So, our players left the town of Edinburgh, which they founded, to find a god board, an important part of an important machine that they need to keep going, otherwise the infrastructure of Edinburgh, when it fails and breaks down, they will not be able to replace it, and the town will die. So, classic Fallout premise. And they were given a lead. They were sent to Vault 88 outside the area of Quincy, hoping to delve into the vault and find a god board. But there were complications. There were people living in Quincy who were under threat by an evil group called the Gunners, who are mercenaries who will take any job by anyone. If Adolf Hitler was alive in the Fallout universe and wanted to pay the Gunners to do something, they would say how much. That is who the Gunners are. And they've met a wonderful lot of people in Quincy and have been trying to help them. They have just secured a bunch of dynamite from the quarry in Quincy after fighting a lot of mutant hounds and a lot of mutant stags. And hopefully they are going to use that to blow up some Gunners. But then they met up, well, to say met up, they were accosted by the aforementioned Gunners, who their leader, Sergeant Bauer, asked them to leave and try and get everybody else in town to leave so they don't have to massacre everyone. And they were told that they are going to attack the settlers of Quincy in 2 days. So our adventurers went off back to town. They had a little dilly-dally at the power station because they had been sent by the lady inside Vault 88, the mysterious lady, the voice in the console, to turn on the power plant so they can get power into the vault. And they have successfully done that. So now we're going to join our players as they walk towards Vault 88. It is about 8:30 in the evening at this point. It's been a long old day. Jade, you have a head injury, which means that if you sustain another injury to the head, you will start to die. You will fall down, lose consciousness, and if nobody gives you any medical attention immediately, you will slip into a coma and die. That is something you are very sure of. So look after that head, Jade. It's a good head. Don't get it injured. So approaching the vault are a unusually quiet Freddie, Augusta, Carl, Jade, Scylla, the unofficial leader of Quincy, the leader of the settlers, who was not exactly voted in as such, but everyone just kept looking at her when decisions needed to be made, and it's just kind of kept going that way. And of course, stupid Jim, who is clunking around, giggling to himself, enjoying the power armor that he has been entrusted to handle. Was this a wise decision by our players? Was it a foolish one? I guess we'll find out. And now we're going to turn to my notes of the actual session. So you are approaching Vault 88, and you can see that the console is lit up much like it was before when the overseer inside the vault was talking to you through it earlier. This would suggest that you're successful in turning the power on. What would you like to do?
I think we're going to go over to the controls and talk to them. See if they can let us in.
As you approach the console, it immediately sparks to life. You hear the whir of the camera that is above the console, sort of under the awning of the door, of the vault cog door thing. And a familiar crackly voice comes through and says, "So I guess you got the power back on."
Looks like. How is everything down there?
Well, it's lighter now, and I can see that Dale, the robot, is kind of in between you and me.
Right. Is there any way you can let us in and we can try and help?
I can. So once I open the door, well, you appear to be a vault dweller. You know the score. Inside there is a elevator that will bring you down to where I am, but that will bring you to a really wide hall, and that hallway is where Dale is.
So we should be ready when we get down there.
Yes. I would ask that you try to be gentle if you are going to send him often to this good night. He's been a loyal friend to me for a very long time.
I mean, if we can simply disable him so that you can restart it, that would obviously be ideal.
Well, maybe. He's hoping.
Okay, let us organise ourselves up here a bit and then we'll come down when we're prepared. Because right now I'm not sure if we're ready to actually fight, potentially, a robot.
Okay, I'll be here, because if I leave this room, I might be killed by a robot. Please help me.
Oh,
And the
we're
console,
coming, promise.
And the console goes silent.
I turned to the others. Did you hear that? Okay. They're going to let us in, but there's a robot that's being a problem. Jade, I'm worried about that head injury you've got. I don't think we go into a fight with a robot if you could get, blown on heavily and fall over. Is there anything you can do medically to help yourself right now?
Catherine, you are muted.
I have done what I can. What is left now is rest. So, from what I understood from Michelle, it is a night's sleep, and it should be good.
But if we wait here for the night, there might not be someone down there by the time we're able to go down.
Yeah, time seems to be of the essence here, but we should approach with caution.
Scylla, are you any good with a gun?
I am, but I'd left it with my husband back in town.
Ah, but we have other guns that we don't necessarily need for each of us. We've got a Brahmin with some more stuff on it.
Well, alright, lay it on me. Shame the Minutemen aren't around. They could have really been helpful here, but you know what?
I mean, the Minutemen being around would have been a big help for lots of reasons right now.
Yeah.
Um,
You know, I don't really trust anybody else in town to help with this. And I don't really want word getting out that we're trying this yet. Folks are on edge. Hey, you know what? Give me a weapon. Let's do this.
Depending on what you can use and what we have on Tumu, if you think you can handle a fight with a robot, I can wait either outside or just inside before the elevator.
Yeah, I absolutely wouldn't blame you for that. You could watch the door, I guess. That could be a helpful
She
thing.
can have my aluminum bad, and I can take care of any medical needs after the fight.
That's a very sensible move for you, I think.
Because then I won't be in the middle of it, and you will still have a doctor afterwards.
And more to the point, Edinburgh will still have a doctor. I don't think they'd forgive us if we came back without you.
Well, I should be pretty straight with you. I have used guns. I've never been shown how. I've just pointed and shot, and sometimes I hit things.
How do you feel about the idea of a baseball bat?
I would say I'm more familiar with hitting things with sticks. But honestly, I've probably done that just as much as I have shot things.
I think it gives close to the same damage. Since it's the aluminum, it has 5 in damage.
What, an aluminum bat will do as much damage as a bullet? I'm not a mutant like you. Just give me a pistol. Alright, I'll
I'm just
point.
opening up. I'm opening up the storage stuff on the back of Tumu to see what there is. Got some fine tomahawks.
What's
There is a laser
tomahawk?
pistol. It's like a throwing axe. Actually, now I think about it, if you haven't used it before, this isn't the time to learn.
Why would you throw an axe?
Because then you've hit something with an axe.
Ah, that's something new every day.
Yeah, there's a laser pistol. That sounds like a good shout, unless you need it, Vincent.
No. I have my bow.
Sorry, I've got the name small, so I should have been using character names, Carl. You've got your bow. I haven't even looked at what I've got right now. I should equip something for myself. Do you think we can give Scylla the laser pistol to use?
Is that different from a pistol?
I'm just looking at the detail. I don't think it is. I think it's just a laser. It fires. It's an energy weapon that's like a pistol.
I've heard of those. Never fired one.
It's similar to a normal gun, but it doesn't like push you back afterwards.
Huh. Well, I'll give it a go.
I mean, how are you feeling about this, Carl? Are you okay with this?
Yeah, that works. The real question is if I should be scouting ahead and see if I can spot this robot, or if we should send Jim ahead in the power armor.
I feel like Jim definitely comes with us, but the trouble is once we've come down in the elevator, there's kind of no disguising that we've arrived if the robot's paying attention.
Was there a situation where I wasn't coming with you because I'm here?
Yeah, of course you're coming with us, Jim. Don't worry.
I want to save the lady from the evil robot.
Well, we're just figuring out what we're taking down with us to make sure we've got all the stuff we need.
Alright, it's smashed when you say.
They're not going to know what's hit them down there. I just want to be behind Jim when it happens.
Just out of character, what is Jim actually armed with right now?
Power armor doesn't count.
Well,
I mean, you can grab and squeeze like someone's head like a grape. I think that's going to be something that could happen.
Jim usually. Well, I can answer in the form as if you asked Jim himself. Well, I've got my tire iron for smashing heads, and I got my shotgun for a different kind of smashing heads. And also, I'm now wearing this ridiculously wonderful power armor, which means that now when I punch things, they can probably go squish.
Would you prefer an aluminum bat to a tire iron?
What's an aluminum bat?
That's
Well,
this one. And I'll show him mine.
That's really pretty. Are you supposed to hit people with that?
Yep.
Okay. He grabs it in one
How
hand
many-
and,
have
holding it the
seen
wrong
me
way
fight.
around, he swings it around just like, oh.
Jim, hold the other end. It'll be much easier because then you've got like the weight with it.
That's
He have
so much better.
you have been around with us. You have seen me fight with it.
To be fair, I was too busy getting bitten on my anus at the time.
Now, isn't it nice in this power armor? It should protect your poor bum from another bite.
Oh yeah, this robot's not going anywhere near my anus.
All right. Jim stands by the doors on the elevator, so he's first off.
Oh, the vault door hasn't opened as yet.
Oh, okay.
It's a classic.
Because obviously we have to leave Tumu up here, so we need to get the stuff first.
And Jim, it's what's it called? Other side of permanent. It's
Temporary.
a switch for now. I want a temporary switch. I want my bat back when you're done with it down there.
Absolutely, Doc. I wouldn't want to steal your very pretty stick.
Good. Then I will take care of your tire iron for now.
All right, be careful with it.
Okay, I'm going to take some extra ammo for my .44 pistol. I've got some for my 10mm, so between the two of them I should be okay. Sorry, I was having to like browse between what's on Tumu and what's in my own inventory there. Are we ready to go then? Are we going to do this? All we'd have to do is ask them to open the door.
Anyone needs a backup weapon? I have the machete too. If there isn't anything.
I feel like if we're close enough to the robot to use the machete, then we're probably unsafe.
Okay.
Yeah, then we're too close.
But
All
thank
right.
you for thinking of us. I'm going to message back down and ask them to to open the door up.
Okay, you signal to the voice in the console that you're ready to go, and you can hear some tapping on a keyboard through the static and distortion of the communication system, and then you hear loud hissing. An alarm starts to blare out before being immediately cut off with a voice, and the voice from the console says, "Sorry about that. It's a default setting, the alarm. I don't know why it does that." And yet with more hissing, you can see steam spurt out the sides of the door as it wheels off to the left and reveals the interior of the vault. You can see inside chrome surfaces on the floor, the walls, the ceiling. There is a gangway that leads you directly to a round, very large elevator. There is no console on the elevator, and inside it looks unbelievably clean and well kept. If you didn't know it any better, you would say that this is a vault that is brand new.
Question: will Sniff stay outside with me and Tumu, or go down with you?
I'll let the Sniff stay up here and help guard you.
Thank you.
Are we going to have Freddie come with us? Because I feel like we need to resolve what goes on there.
Freddie looks to you and says that he's going to stick around with Tumu, as Tumu is feeling a bit under the weather, and any other excuse that would work for the fact that Tim is not here.
That works for me. Okay, will we do this?
I will get better at that as the game goes on. I
Don't
just
worry.
didn't think of that particular scenario. But as Augusta, Carl, Scylla, and Stupid Jim walk over the gangway and stand on the elevator, they hear you hear a voice on a tannoy. It is a familiar voice of the woman inside the vault. She says, "All right, are you ready to go down? Wait, where's the rest of you?"
A couple of us are staying at the top. One of us, Jade's pretty injured. It wouldn't make sense for him to come downstairs.
Is Jade the big... I don't want to be
The
offensive,
doctor.
but...
Yes, the doctor.
Right, the doctor. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, sure.
we don't want a dead doctor. You understand that, I'm sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
I will awkwardly power the lift now. Going down. You hear the clunk of machinery. You could swear that you hear a chain being pulled, and you start to descend. You descend in total darkness for a bit, and then some lights power on and light up where you are, and you can sense yourself going lower and lower into the ground. 10 feet, 20 feet, 30 feet, more and more and more. You eventually stop being able to track it. You have no idea how far down you've gone, but it's very fucking far. And then eventually the way forward appears, a long, fairly wide hallway. Again, chrome floor, chrome ceiling, but this time the walls are like a sort of blue colour that Augusta, you are very familiar with writing on the walls in yellow with yellow lines streaking across, and there is a sign above saying, "Welcome to your new home, Vault 88ers." And 88ers is spelled how it sounds, with 2 8s, an apostrophe, and an R and an S. That casual
I hate how homely
corporate
this
thing.
feels. I really hate how homely this feels.
The elevator comes to a stop, and you see the hallway in front of you going on for about 100 feet. You do not see any robots or anything else. What would you like to do?
Carl, I feel like you should probably take the lead here because I'm not got your experience. I know vaults, but...
Will do. And I will very slowly and sneakily move forward while listening for any kind of sounds that reveals any movement nearby.
As you prepare to start sneaking, you hear the sound of ticking and then beeping. Augusta and Jade, not Jade, Augusta's Pip-Boy and Stupid Jim's Pip-Boy that comes attached to the power armor are making some very, very familiar sounds to those who are familiar with Geiger counters. I'll just cut through the stuff here and just get to the point where, like, you're basically looking at your Pip-Boy Augusta, and you see an alert. You click it, and it says, "Warning: radiation levels detected. Do not spend longer than 1 hour in this area, otherwise you may suffer symptoms and side effects including nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, hair loss, and skin peeling."
Okay, I know we've got some Radagon, but I don't really want to deal with any of that if I don't have to.
This is the lowest setting warning you can get on a Pip-Boy.
Yeah.
Essentially, you could probably stick around for, like it says, around an hour before you feel any real effects.
Let's try and get this done quickly, I think. I'm also going to sneak, but behind Carl.
Alright, rolling a sneak. With 1 success.
Okie dokie. Augusta, what's your sneaky sneak? Oh, Augusta, what's your sneaky sneak? Again, 1 success. Okay, so I'm assuming Stupid Jim and Scylla are hanging back for now.
It's hard to be stealthy in power armor.
Very true. So they stay standing on the elevator pad as you start to move down the hall. Almost immediately, at the far end, you spot Dale, a Securitron robot. However, this Securitron does not have legs, as are familiar to as are standard on most models of Securitron robots. This one comes on treads, and immediately starts the robot treaded equivalent of sprinting towards you. And I would like you both to make a check for me.
All right.
And I'm not going to give you a DC. Because this reflects how this is a very, very in a set, like under a couple of seconds, you're not really sure you're even making an attempt at anything. This is just to see if you notice something. So please give me each a intelligence science check.
Intelligence science.
And you cannot spend action points on this because, again, you're not even trying to do something here. You're just... Okay. Ooh, Augusta.
Carl is not very sciencey.
Augusta, you have noticed that Dale, the robot, is not in any combat mode that you are familiar with.
Does this mean he's not in combat, or does it mean it's a new kind of combat mode?
You know a fair bit about robots, but if this is a combat mode, it's not one you have ever seen before. There are certain lights and LEDs that would be lighting up. A weapon arm would be held out and pointing. A lot of models would probably give some kind of warning before they start firing, depending on what their programming is. A Vault Tech Securitron would almost certainly give some kind of warning, and that is not happening. But the robot is barreling at you very fast.
Do we go for the treads?
You want to shoot the treads?
That's my impulse, but I don't want to also completely mess this up, so I'm kind of asking Carl. Treads?
Treads.
I'm shooting at the treads.
Okay. Give me a shooty at the treads. We'll call this kind of the Fallout equivalent of a surprise round, kind of. They do have surprise rounds, but it doesn't really work like this, but I'm going with it. I'm vibing. Oh, wow. Okay. Roll for damage.
Sorry, I hadn't moved my thing around enough to get to that. I've forgotten where that is. It's the little guy on the page, isn't it?
It is... Yeah, it's a little blue square next to the gun. Okay.
That's what 3 weeks does.
Your bullet lands on the treads. However, it does not appear to do enough damage to stop Dale at any point. Carl, you can get one quick shot too off if you like.
Yes. I will shoot it also in the treads. Try to stop this thing. Come on, there we go. One success. And here. Longbow damage.
Okay. So with that, your arrow flies true and lands right where you placed it in the middle of the treads. Unfortunately, Dale is going so fast that the treads just snap the arrow in half and it falls to the side.
Well, shit.
Okay, so now Dale has moved up and is about to hit you both. I'd like you both to make a... Didn't write down what this check was going to be, if it came up. Make an athletics agility check. DC 2.
Let's see.
Oh dear.
Athletics. 2 dice. Can I give her one of my successes?
Don't do it. It's okay. I'm not athletic. That's just how Augusta is.
Okay.
And neither am I, so...
Assuming you don't want to spend any action points or anything else, you have...
I should have thought of that before I rolled it.
Yeah, fair dues.
We're
Okay.
jumping out of the way. Can I jump like I'm knocking her over and taking her with me?
You know, with 2 successes, yeah, I'm going to let that slide. So, what happens is, Carl, with that, Carl, you describe how this happens.
All right. As this robot is very quickly approaching our location, I see it's about to smash into us, so I just leap to the side, arms out, grabbing... Sorry. Grabbing Augusta on the way and knocking her out of the way, taking her with me, so we don't get run over by robot treads.
And as you do that, you just manage to get Augusta out of the way in time for Dale to whiz past you. He is going at maybe 60, 70 miles an hour. And...
Michelle, you're muted.
Oh, crap. I do that all the time. So, you just manage to pull Lavaita out of harm's way, and Dale goes speeding past. He must be rocking 60, 70 miles an hour. And
Oh, shit.
stupid Jim sees Dale and charges and jumps at it. And he lands on it, arms on either side, legs on either side, and is taken with Dale on as Dale travels past. Scylla has to dive out of the way as she is still on the elevator. And she fails miserably. She is bashed by the robot and suffers 6 damage. That is a wound. That is not great. And Dale stops on the elevator with a injured Scylla and stupid Jim still attached, still holding on to Dale. The robot reaches down with one arm and pulls apart a piece of the chrome floor, sticks his hand in, and the elevator starts to lift up. Stupid Jim just shouts, "Where are you fucking doing? Run the shit!" And we're going to follow the robot as it goes up and up and up, and it gets to the top and immediately guns it out of the vault door. Jade, Freddie and Tumu are standing there chatting when they suddenly see stupid Jim attached to Dale screaming, "Ah!" And as Dale turns around, he comes out and turns to his right, to your left, Jade. Stupid Jim is thrown off Dale and lands next to you. And Dale guns it down the road, very quickly vanishing under the horizon. And Dale is gone. And Stupid Jim just looks up and says, I don't think we stopped the robot, Doc. Also, I hurt my anus again. Now we'll go back down to Carl and Augusta. Carl and Augusta, you are a little further along the hallway, whereas behind you, Scylla is lying on the ground. Oh, yeah. No, wait, no, Scylla has been taken up. Scylla's the top on the elevator. Pardon me, I'm getting my locations mixed up. We'll go to the bit
I mean,
that
she's
we
handy
have.
for the doctor. This is probably good news.
Yeah.
Yep, it's Jade's problem now.
So,
And I thought about doing something about that when she came up. But
So, Jade, I'm guessing, as Dale vanishes into the distance, you decided to have a look inside the vault, yeah?
no, I decided to have a look at Stupid Jim to see how hurt he actually is, and have a look at Scylla since she came up too, right?
Scylla is still lying. Oh, the reason I said that is because Scylla is currently lying on the elevator inside. So at this point, you
Okay.
can't really see her. But yeah.
So I can't see that she came up either.
No. But Stupid Jim's right next to you, just
Okay.
going like, that wasn't supposed to happen that way.
What happened, Jim?
This fucking robot, it just lunged at us, and I jumped at it, hoping to stop it, and it took me with it. And then I was
Are the
stuck
rest
on
of
it.
them okay?
Sorry?
Are the rest okay?
I think Augusta and Carl got out of the way. I don't know where Scylla is.
But what happened with the robot? I thought it was hostile. It didn't look hostile.
It was pretty fucking hostile from where I was sitting. Oh.
What did you do to it? It just took off.
It just lunged at us. And then it used the lift to get out. And it's gone.
So it didn't actively attack you.
Well, it's safe to... I mean, it's probably more accurate to say that I jumped on it. And then it took me with it. But in my defense, it was gunning it for my friends. What was I supposed to do?
That I am more nervous about what happened to the rest right now. You seem fine, actually.
I just need a minute. That was... oh, God.
Okay, and while Jim find his, I will just like ask Freddie to keep an eye on him, and Jade will walk in to see if any more else is in the elevator.
Okay, you walk inside and you see Scylla is lying to the side of on the escalator, on the elevator pad. She is lying down and she's groaning.
Well, that isn't it. Let's take a look at that.
What? Oh, God, my arm.
So
that
while
fucking thing broke my fucking arm.
Jade tries to do something good about that, he will ask like, "What happened?"
The fucking robot just jumped us. It just lunged at us.
It attacked you.
It was just happening so fast. It just bashed into us. It like tackled us. If a robot could even tackle.
But disappeared. So it didn't attack you. It ran at you.
Yeah. And then I found myself up here.
What happened to the rest?
I don't know where anyone else is. Are they okay?
I certainly hope so. They didn't came up with you, apparently. Jim came up, and you came up. But I guess the rest is down there still.
I mean, I hope so. But Doc, oh God, please, oh fuck, can you help me up?
I got 3 successes on the medicine check.
Ah, yeah, you did. Okay.
Do I need them all to fix her up?
No, you've looked at the arm, and this is not a broken arm. This is a sprain, a really bad sprain.
Okay.
But it's not broken.
So
We just got enough to for me to add a complication at some point. Thank you very much, person who did that.
it was Ian. So Ian, is it for us or for Michelle?
I think 300s are for me.
But it's 3 times 100, not 300. So that's for Ian to disclaim.
I don't know what the rules are. We'll figure it out.
Can I? Are there any of those successes I can bank, or do I need all 3 to take care of her?
Let me just give myself a very quick refresher on the rules of medicine in this, because it is a thing. I have a sheet here that explains it all in very quick order. I just have to, actually have it open. We have a doctor playing in the game, so I should have this open. Booyah. Okay. So you are treating an injury. You rolled 3 successes.
Yep.
What skill were you using with that roll? You were using medicine. Okay.
Medicine and intelligence, right?
You have done a... What's your medicine rank?
4.
Okay, with that, you have healed Scylla 4 hit points. So, describe how you treated Scylla's sprained arm.
I guess I make the assessment inside without moving her too much, and like figure out that it's a sprain, not broken. So I help her up, and while we talk, we go out, and we probably have some cloth or something that I can make a small wrap of to just stabilize it.
Alright, so you make a sling, you position it in a much more comfortable way for this particular sprain, and Scylla is doing fairly alright, you know? This arm's going to be out of action for a few days, but, you know, she's kind of stable. She says,
So that was all 3 successes?
yes.
Okay.
But behind you as you walk out, you hear the elevator starting to go down again. And we'll cut back to Augusta and Carl. You are in the hallway and you've just been gathering yourself after you've taken a bit of a tumble, and you can hear the elevator is coming down. And you can also hear someone running, sprinting towards you. You look down the corridor and you can see a female ghoul in a vault suit running towards you. What would you like to do?
Well, I'm not familiar with vaults. That's Augusta's department, so I'll let her take the lead on this one.
Can I shout, hello? Where are you going?
As she runs past, she says to you, "Where the fuck's Dale going?" And you recognise that this is the same woman you have been talking to through the console. She runs to the elevator and stands...
You're never going to catch up with him. He was going very fast.
Well, we've got to try.
What happened to him?
Are you coming or what?
We've got stuff to do down here. That's why we were coming in.
What do you mean you got stuff to do coming out? And at that point, the elevator starts lifting up. What do you mean you've got stuff to do out there? Don't you... Leave my stuff alone, you... And you hear the shouting go off into the distance. You're now alone in this hallway.
I've never met a female... I've never met a ghoul vault dweller before. That was new.
Yeah, something doesn't seem quite right with this vault.
A lot
It's
doesn't seem
clean,
quite right.
but
There's
there's
a
no
malfunctioning
people
robot
here.
that's just shot off into the outside world. What's it going to do? I don't know. The robot doesn't seem to know. This is very worrying, but we did come here for other reasons, and if it's not bothering us and if it's not about to attack Quincy before the gunners do, then go, little sucker, be free.
Yeah, let's get the thing we're looking for and out of here. Both our pit boys are taking off with the radiation. We should not
Yeah,
stay
we need
here.
to get the thing we came here for and get out again. That's very important. Oh, I miss having Freddie's skills for finding stuff right now, but we need to find this board then. And
Where
it's
is it
going to be
most likely to be?
wherever all the technology is that's running the vault. So, like the stuff that's dealing with the air intake and the water filtration and all that kind of stuff, it's probably going to be around there.
So
Right at the middle.
level?
Right at the middle, probably.
Well, let's try that first. And I'm gonna
Let's
see
try
if
and be
there's
let's try and be systematic about it and get a sense of like what the vault is like, and then see if we can find this device.
Are there like any signs or directions written on the walls?
As you make your way down the hall, you see on the walls very well kept posters. One of them says, "Welcome." The next one says, "Vault Tech." The next one says, "Board members." The next one says, "Here." And the next one says, "Is." And it goes on like that. And basically, the sentence it all spells out on the wall is, "Welcome to the demonstration of Vault 88.
Oh, this was like a show vault or something then? This wasn't even used as a vault?
Or was it not ready to accept people before the bombs fell?
I honestly don't know. I've never seen a vault like this before. But like from that, I can imagine, like from the little I know of vault tech, I can imagine them showing people around and going, "Look how amazing our vaults are," and then not telling them how terrible it's going to be when you actually are there and people are running experiments on you.
Yeah. All right.
As you're talking,
Yeah, I've heard about stuff that's going on in vaults, and you would know better than most, I reckon. Well, do we see anything like colored lines that show like this is to cafeteria, this is to engineering, this is computer core, or anything like that on the walls, or is it just propaganda posters?
it's just the posters. Basically, this long hallway, you walk down it, and when you get to the other end of it, you are in what Augusta would recognize as the main hall / cafeteria of the vault. This is not like the design of your vault, where the entrance would not necessarily lead to this particular place, but for some reason, this one does. As you enter the hall, you see ahead of you about 30 to 35 large and empty metallic crates. Now, this is set up kind of like a hallway would be. There are a few living quarters on either side, to the right and to the left, and there is some stairs at the other end that leads up to where you presume the overseer's office is. There is also some stairs down, but also on the back wall, most of it is granite. This is about, there is about half to 3/4 of what a normal main hall of a vault would look like. It would appear that
Would
this,
Augusta recognize it as granite? Sorry.
it looks very familiar to the kind of wall and material that you found in Quincy Quarry. However, the
Why the
vault
hell-
parts that are mostly finished are very clean and well kept. The empty crates are stacked to right angles in a very specific way. Apart from at the back of the hall, there are 3 crates that have not been opened, and there are 2 crates that have been smashed open, and bits of them are all over that corner of the hall.
Who builds a fallout shelter in amongst radioactive rock?
I don't
Freddie
know.
would absolutely kill me if I don't at least look inside these crates that clearly haven't been touched yet, and the ones that have been opened. I mean, Freddie, I think, would be looking inside every single crate, even if it was looking empty. But I'm just going to look in the ones that have got stuff clearly visible.
Let's do that on the way out, since this is on the way out when we're done here.
But the crate might have what we're looking for.
Yeah,
Right,
okay, fair enough.
because we're looking for a board, and I imagine the board could be plugged into a device and working right now, but it could also be that they've got spares, and that would be ideal because I don't want to take a board away from them, or they won't have a replicating device either.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Let's check these.
Okay, so you approach the crates. These are very, very heavy metallic crates. Pretty standard Vault Tech wear. And each is marked. Each has a sticker on it, and most of it is indecipherable Vault Tech stuff. You've got codes, you've got barcodes, you've got all sorts of random nonsense that a Vault Tech employee 200 years ago may be able to decipher, but you are not that. However, on each crate there is a few words that are decipherable. The first crate says Vault Tech Armory, which is crossed out, and in what looks like some kind of felt tip pen was written over the top, "Too soon." The next crate says Demonstration Welcome Pack Supplies. And the third crate, which is a lot smaller than the rest, simply says Security, which is also crossed out when written in felt tip pen, "Too soon."
I'm going to knock on these hard with the butt of my combat knife to see if anything in there starts moving.
Okay, you do that and nothing moves inside. These are industrial
I think these are safe to
metal
open.
crates made by Vault Tech, designed to store items inside a vault for a considerable amount of time.
All right. Is it like a nice little hatch, a little latch or something you just open and it swings open, or do we need a crowbar or something?
No, there's a couple of latches that you can pull on, and that would open the crates. So I assume you're going to open all the crates.
Yep. Let's go to work.
Okay. You open the Vault-Tec Armory crate, and don't worry, people. I'm going to send this to you on Discord. I haven't made a Google sheet of these yet, but I was going to make that afterwards and send that on to Tim. But in the Vault-Tec Armory crate, you find 5 combat knives, 4 laser rifles, 75 shots worth of fusion cell, 5 10mm pistols, 100 10mm ammo, 2 submachine guns, 150.45 ammo, 4 assault rifles, 155.56 ammo, 1 missile launcher, 5 missiles, 1 fat man, 2 mini nukes, 20 frag grenades, 4 sturdy combat helmets, 4 sturdy combat torsos, 4 sturdy combat armors for the arms, and 4 sturdy combat armors for the legs.
It's quite possible that the gunners have something to worry about now.
Yeah. Quincy could defend themselves with this.
I mean, assuming there's any of Quincy left if we let the wrong person shoot this stuff.
Yeah, I've seen those things, and with these Fat Man launchers, there's like ammunition too, right?
Yeah, there's 2 mini nukes.
2 minutes. Okay.
They each
I've
come in
seen
their own
those before.
box, and each box comes with the Vault Boy person on the front, holding a little miniature nuclear explosion in his hand like this.
Okay. I've seen what those can do.
I mean, I feel like in a sense we've all seen what those can do.
Yeah, but I've seen those specific things in use 2 years ago. We have to be careful with who we are, absolutely. But yeah, Quincy stands a chance now. Let's get these others open.
Okay, you open the security crate, and this is much more reasonable. 3 extendable batons, 4 sets of Vault-Tec security armor, and 4 Vault-Tec security helmets.
Yep. And what's in the third one?
The third crate, marked Demonstration Welcome Pack Supplies, includes 10 Vault 88's jumpsuits, 3 perfectly preserved pies, 5 Fancy Lad snack cakes, 4 Salisbury steaks, preserved, 4 Blamco brand mac and cheese, also preserved, 12 bottles of water that you assume are purified because these are pre-war bottles of Vault-Tec water. That's the brand name, Vault-Tec. 6 stim packs, 3 Radexes, 4 Radaways, $1,000 in pre-war money, 1 doctor's bag, 3 first aid kits, and 1 stealth boy. All in their original Vault-Tec packaging. Unopened, unused.
Wow. It's always nice to find food supplies.
I just wish we hadn't found them in a big room next to some granite.
Yeah. Well,
But maybe the metal boxes kept them in good condition.
So,
yeah.
next to these crates, there are some smashed up metal crates. These are not nearly as tidy as the other empty crates, but they are very much mostly empty. But there are bits of tech that is vaguely recognizable to you, Augusta. Give me a science intelligence roll, but this is a DC of 1. You would have to be having a very bad day to not know what this stuff is. But it is possible. You got that 1 success. You instantly recognize after watching Zebedee work on this, whilst you while away the hours talking about all sorts of things. These are parts of a fabricator. A bit smashed up and a bit dented. Mostly.
Is it the S742U though?
The S742U is not there.
Bugger. Are the parts there actually of any use, or should we? I mean, would it be worth taking it for the sake of having spare parts, or should we just leave them?
No, these were smashed.
Oh, great.
Like, they look like they were smashed with a hammer.
The robot didn't have a hammer, and the ghoul didn't have a hammer.
No, but the robot did have metal arms.
Fair.
So, yeah.
Right. This stuff isn't any use. It possibly could have been, but it's not now. I think we have to keep looking.
Okay. So
Yeah.
whilst you two are looking around downstairs, upstairs, Jade, you are with Scylla and Stupid Jim and Freddie and Tumu. Unsure, I'm guessing, of what to do. You hear the elevator coming back up, and when it hits the top, a ghoul in a vault suit runs out and approaches you and says, "Where'd it go?"
What happened?
"Dale, he's gone. Where'd he go? Which way did he go?"
I'll tell you in a minute what happened. Where are the rest of my team?
"They wouldn't come up. I tried to get them to come up with me, and they stayed down there because they want to raid my vault, but I don't have time to deal with that right now because Dale's gone." And she looks over the horizon, and her expression changes. All thoughts of Dale have now exited her head as she has looked over. She can see Quincy in the distance. She can see the horizon of the post-apocalyptic wasteland. And she looks around and she just says, "Oh my God, Vault-Tec aren't gonna give the all clear, are they? They're gone."
I don't know the time frame for your vault, but yeah.
I knew the bombs fell. That's why we sealed it up in the first place, but just... What the fuck? She slumps
Have
to her
you-
knees and is still looking at the horizon.
And Jade will kneel down in front of her. Have you been in the vault all the time? From before the war?
Of course, I'm the overseer. I was preparing the vault to show off to some bigwigs, and then the sirens went off and we closed it down like I was trained to.
And how many were you in there?
Well, there was three of us. Me, Louie, and Dale.
This is Catherine asking, did we hear what happened to... Louis was the one we found in the quarry?
Yes, Louis was the
Okay.
dead person, the dead ghoul vault
Okay.
suit person you found in the quarry.
Okay.
I can't believe I sent Louis out into this. What was I thinking? Of course he was never coming back.
Well, people do survive out here.
She looks at you and says, "Well, I guess they do. I'm sorry, this seems really rude, but what are you?
Oh. Yeah. Hmm. I'm Jade. I'm a doctor. Just can we leave with that, please? Uh, More importantly, you are very affected by radiation.
I mean, yeah, but
Where did that come from?
I don't know,
If
just,
you've been in the vault.
you know, after a couple of decades, like, my hair started to fall out, and then a few years later, my skin started to go, and it just happened so slowly, I just didn't think about it, and then suddenly I didn't die, so I guessed I was still on the clock with Voltec.
Right. And Louis?
Yeah,
Did he become the same way?
yeah. I mean, at first we joked about it. We just thought we were getting older. I mean, we joked that, by the
Okay.
time Voltec sent over some dwellers for us to, look after, that we'd be like in wheelchairs and stuff. But then that just never happened.
Right. Um,
Voltec are gone, aren't they?
are they?
Yeah, Voltec. I
Okay.
mean, everyone who ran the company is long dead. There might be a few people going around in various ways. Check out the Fallout TV show on Amazon Prime now. But
Okay.
to you, the idea that Voltec or any corporation from the pre-war is still operating in any way is laughable. It's been 200 years and there was bombs in between.
Okay. Yeah. Um. Okay. I have a lot to teach you and talk to you about. Right now, I am a bit worried for my team. Um, because they cannot stand radiation for a long time.
Oh, it'll be fine. The bombs fell. It went up quite a bit at first, but it's barely anything. Like, if it
Right.
was that dangerous, I wouldn't have let them down in the first place. And also, I'd probably be dead, right? This is just a bit
It.
of, a bit of a skin reaction. It'll clear up, right?
Mm, I hope it will be possible someday, but it's no. Right now it's not a good thing,
What do you
and
mean, no?
it's not done evolving.
You mean I turned myself into a fucking burnt walking corpse for a company that hasn't existed in fucking hundreds of years?
Yeah.
I did so much
Again,
cleaning.
I. Oh, you poor thing.
I had so much fucking cleaning. I'm just waiting for some vault dwellers to show up, and they never came. And as much as a ghoul can cry, she is now
Yeah.
full on ugly crying and being completely indecipherable. And to that, we will jump back down to the vault. Split party, people. No, I'm liking this because each scene it adds lots of opportunities for me to create little dramatic moments to cut, and yeah, I'm loving it. So, okay, you two have finished going through the broken, destroyed crates. and there's nothing there that's really salvageable. You find a few bits of paperwork and a torn up service manual for a Vault-Tec fabricator that's basically torn into like 4 or 5 different pieces, pages pulled away from the staples. It's a bit of a mess. There's not really that much there that is salvageable, but I think it's pretty, you wouldn't need a roll to know this, it's pretty obvious that Dale has been at this. And so to paint the picture of where you are, you're in the main hallway. There are a few living quarters to the sides, and there are some stairs very close to you going down, and you don't know where, and up towards what Augusta you assume would be where the overseer's office is if this was a normal vault.
My impulse is to suggest going down to start with and then working back up.
Okay. And that's where engineering and stuff usually is?
This vault, all bets are off. So we'll find out.
We could go to... Do you think that's the overseer's office up there? And see if we can
Most
download
likely,
a
the
map?
overseer tends to be like higher up than everyone else. It's like a status thing.
Well, maybe there's a map we can get to our pit boys there so we can find more
That
faster
would be
than...
useful. That's a good idea. We can go and look at least, I suppose.
Okay, let's try that.
I just realized I keep forgetting. We have Pip-Boys, right?
Yes,
At least
everyone has a pit
me and
boy.
Augusta. Yo, Carl, so we can communicate right now when we are in close proximity to each other, right?
In theory, you can give it a try, but they are hundreds of feet below you, so this might not go that well, but give it a go.
And there's low-level radiation as well.
Yeah.
Because Jade will be quite worried for them when a ghoul came up, so Jade will try to contact them to ask about the radiation level.
Okay. Augusta, your Pip-Boy lights up. Carl, yours doesn't, because yours is of a slightly different variety and comes from a different vault/fabricator originally. So Augusta, your Pip-Boy lights up a bit. You are getting a call from Jade.
I am not familiar with the actual use of a Pip-Boy, and assuming I don't have to hold my wrist up to my face to talk to it, or do I?
No, it's got more in common with a walkie-talkie rather than a mobile phone. I used
That's
mobile
what I
phone terms just then, but that's not really accurate. It's more like a walkie-talkie, basically. So you would just hear
Okay.
something like
I
Jade to Augusta or something
respond.
like that.
Jade, you figured out how to make these work. Fantastic. Are things okay up there?
Semi. I'm worried about you. How's the radiation level?
It's present. Our Pip-Boys warned us about it, but we should be good for about another 45 minutes.
Okay. If I remember correctly, we have some right away on Tumu.
Yeah, I was remembering that, but hopefully we won't be around that
Okay.
long. We just need to find the thing we came for. I'd love to set up a radio signal to tell the people back in Edinburgh that we found it, but that's if we have time. But yeah, we're okay. There doesn't seem to be anyone else down here. Are you okay? Because like from our point of view, robot just went up on the lift, and then it came back down again, and then the one person that we've been speaking to ran off.
I have her here. The robot is gone, but let's take that later. She
Yeah, I'm
is
really worried about the robots, but we can talk about that later.
shaken about
Go.
the outside world. But
Oh yeah, shit, of
don't
course.
push yourself down there. If you don't find what you need or you don't get through it all, I can go down. I am not in danger from the radiation, so please spare yourself that, okay?
Thank you, Jade. We found some stuff. We might need help getting it back up. Freddie will definitely want it. We'll all want this stuff. We found some really good stuff.
Okay.
But we haven't found the board yet, so I'll message you again when we find the board.
Okay, I'll stay here.
Thank
Good
you.
search.
And close down the call.
Yep.
Okay. So you were going to go upstairs, right? Was that the plan, or were you going downstairs?
Yeah.
The plan was to go upstairs first
Overseer's
and see if we can find
office.
some kind of map for the vault.
Okay, you head up the overly familiar set of stairs. This is one part of the vault that is situated exactly how you would expect it to be. You go up the stairs, and there is it would be usually a slidey door with the vault number on it, but it's slid across. It's open, and you walk into the office. Inside, is the usual very large round desk in the center of the room with a section cut out of it where a chair is sitting in it, in the cutout section, facing a computer that is on and appears to be open. Along the walls, there are a few bookcases that all look pristine, brand new even, and they are full of various knickknacks and personal effects of this mysterious woman. Various pictures of loved ones, her in her human form, a collection of romantic fiction books, a couple of service manuals for various vault tech machinery and equipment, a few volumes of the Overseer's Ultimate Guide, volumes 1, 2, and 3, issued by Vault Tech. And in the on the far side of the room, there are two things. There appears to be a bicycle attached to what looks to be like a generator, but it has been heavily adapted, with plenty of wires poking out of it and going into the floor. And next to that, there is a radio bolted to about the same size as a hand dryer in our terms of tech, that is bolted to the wall with the dialing knob for finding the right bandwidth, the volume knob, all the usual stuff. Again, completely pristine and appears to be on. Everything is powered up and lit up and looks exceptionally clean.
I'm going to approach the computer and see if I can get information about the layout of the vault and what's inside.
Okay, you look at the computer and it is currently open on an entry for a daily log. This is not like a diary per se, it is just a list of targets achieved, shall we say, in very corporate speak. And as you go through the list of files, you find that there is a huge number meticulously organized by date and time, chronicling the daily activities of this overseer, who the name appears on everyone, Overseer Barstow. And it seems to be pretty much every day for 200 years. Most entries you see detail cleaning and cataloguing various items. Inside, on the latest one, you read that it has all of the stuff that you found, as well as entries detailing 2 crates, Fabricator A and Fabricator B.
They've got 2 fabricators. This is very good news.
Excellent. Where are they located?
Just so you know, you did go through 2 broken, destroyed crates.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about that. I'm a bit worried that we may have found the parts of those that have been destroyed by the robot.
Well, here's hoping.
If this doesn't exist, we're in really big trouble. Is there any indication about what's down, like a layout of the vault, what's downstairs, what is in the other rooms? Like, are any of the living quarters being used for like temporary storage?
You click away from that particular folder. It's not really a folder, it's more like a list of files, but you basically back out. It's kind of like DOS. You remember DOS? Or like using the console on Windows or Linux, basically. You back out of that directory and you see a few folders, but not nearly as many as you would think. Not nearly as many that was on the Overseer's computer in Vault 75? No, that's your Vault. Vault 97, that's the one, in your flashback last time. they're mostly guides on how to set up and establish a vault. There's a few references here and there to the utilities which would be below ground, downstairs. There's also some plans for construction, you find. And you learn from reading this that the only thing that was actually fully constructed when the bombs fell, before the vault was shut, was the entrance and the hallway. The rest of the vault was not built pre-war.
I'll explain this to Carl.
So they were building after the bombs fell?
Or some stuff was added, but like this was meant to be huge and impressive and amazing, and they never got it finished.
Well, at least at one point they had working fabricators then, I imagine.
This is just kind of giving me the fear. Why did the robot destroy the 2 fabricators? Why did the robot leave? What the hell is going on with the robots? Like, we've encountered one other robot and it was being very strange.
I've seen robots here and there over the past few years, and at the most sane ones are trying to do whatever they were doing before the bombs fell and act as if that never happened, as if it's just business as usual from their time. Others are just enraged, destroying things, killing things. I even met one that was a shopkeeper once. Not sure if it was actually self-aware or not, but it certainly acted that way.
I think back to the first one I met after I left the vault, after I first met up with the group in the first play session that we did, basically, and how many I've met since. This is I don't know if they knew what they were developing. This is beyond the scope of what we need to be doing right now. Let's get all the info we can from here. We'll tell Freddie about the books, because he was definitely looking for books for some reason, and we'll have a look downstairs.
Yeah. All right. Let's go.
Okay, so you make a note in your Pip-Boy of the various book titles. Most of them are the ones they're not really that informative unless you happen to be about to live a foreseeable amount of time in a vault. But the romance novels may be of interest to someone, you think, and so then you make your way down the first set of stairs and down the second. And this changes the walls. When you get downstairs, you see a corridor that ends fairly abruptly with, again, granite and rock. That is familiar to you. And the walls haven't been painted blue. This is just very, very chrome, very industrial. And you see 3 rooms on either side of the hallway. One is marked fabricator, one is marked generator, and one is marked water purification.
Well, this is weird, because if they had a generator, why did they need power from the power? Let's look in the fabricator room.
Yeah.
So you go into the fabricator room and it is empty. But you see, Augusta, you see something quite familiar. You see in the floor there have been 6 indentations where you assume the big metal boxy processing centers would have been built. There is also a space where a computer would be. But for whatever reason, this is basically a fabricator room missing its fabricator.
Augusta says a robust Anglo-Saxon word.
Oh, okay. I see what you're getting at. It took me a while to get that. It went right over my head for a while, but I caught it.
Thank you.
That guy from Guardians of the Galaxy. But yeah, this is an exceptionally clean room.
Excellent. It's been very well kept, but I was hoping for a fabricator. I need to stop calling them replicators.
I'll go across the hallway and open the water purification door and see what's in there.
You walk inside, and there is basically a wall with a window, and you see water. What you assume would be purified water. Like gallons and gallons and gallons of it. And you see there's a computer on the side, attached to the wall, and a little stool. And yeah, that's basically it. There's, again, exceptionally clean. This room smells a little bit of disinfectant. And it's just bubbling away. You assume, and you can hear this faint sound of, So you're assuming that the water purifier is working as it should.
I wonder if that was working before we turned the power back on. Or if all of this has just happened since we reactivated it.
That's a good question. I'm going to go up to the generator door, but I'm not opening it yet. I'm going to listen to my Pip-Boy, see if it starts clicking faster.
Carl, you weren't around when this happened, but we did find a generator in the quarry tunnels, but it fell apart when we touched it, more or less.
Oh, this we would assume is a vault generator. This would be a lot larger and more intricate, based on your specialist
And better
knowledge.
kept, I'd imagine.
Yeah. Your Geiger counters don't really jump that far. If this was the source of the radiation, there would probably be some kind of reaction, but at this point there isn't really. If anything, the measures have gone down a couple of percentage points.
Okay. Well, I guess it's safe to open that door, so I just push the open button.
Okay, the door whooshes open, and you see in front of you a pretty large vault generator. So you see 4 stacks of like metal boxes with lots and lots of lights and blinking. You see they've got antennae that are just occasionally cackling, zapping, doing their electrical thing. And there's 4 of them, 2 in front of you, 2 behind it, 2 behind those. And you can walk around a gangway all the way around, and there's occasionally steps that would let you down onto the main floor if you wanted to have a tinker. But this is essentially a vault generator that is working. However, as you walk around, you find the panel where a fusion core would sit in a special housing. And the housing for the fusion core has been torn out.
We dropped a fusion core down here to get to the overseer. I wonder where that would have arrived. She said that the robot was stopping her from getting to it.
Yeah. Maybe it's closer to the elevator shaft that I landed, but let's see if I understood this correctly. You discovered that the socket for it has been completely ripped out.
Yes. Augusta, looking at it, you wouldn't need a roll to work this out. It would take Zebedee about 3 days to repair this if she had access to a fabricator.
It's looking increasingly like no one has access to a fabricator.
Certainly seems that way. And also, why would she need a fusion core down here if the socket for it has been destroyed?
Well, I dropped it down hoping that they could power things for a bit whilst we were trying to arrange things with the power station, because I wasn't entirely sure when we left here that we'd be able to get the power station reconnected to them. But I wasn't expecting a complete imbecile to be in charge of the power station.
Fair. Well, we should head back up. Doesn't seem like what we need is down here, and we should get out of this radiation. Maybe the ghoul lady was down here can explain to what happened to the fabricators.
We were so sure the bit we needed was down here. This is really everything's been about getting here to get this part, and it's not here. It probably kicks the wall, to be honest. Just
does a secret hatch open to reveal a circuit board behind the wall?
A secret room opens and there's 72 god balls just on a shelf. No, I'm afraid not.
Yeah.
Nothing happens.
It's a
Obviously.
good job.
Yeah.
It's
Darn
not
it.
dark, so I wasn't going to run at every wall in case one of them is invisible.
All right, let's get out of here. Ask the ghoul lady what happened to the fabricators, if they were smashed, if they're hidden away somewhere that we can't think of looking.
Yeah, I'm going to play this completely honest. I don't think there's any kind of way of lying about this that's going to make any kind of sense. And actually, I wouldn't hate it if she came to the Edinburgh with us, to be honest.
Okay, so you.
Yeah, I can imagine having a ghoul around could be handy. All right, let's go.
So you make your way up, and as you're walking through the main hall, Augusta, you kick something, and you hear it clang against one of the empty metal crates.
I'm going to go and look and see what that was.
You look down, and it is a fusion core that has a wire tied to it, leading to an open floor grate that has a whole bunch of wires in it.
Going to follow the cabling, see where it's headed and what it's trying to figure out what it's doing.
The cabling leads into a wad of maybe 100 other cables. For some reason,
what the heck is going on here?
Someone at some point tied a fusion core, which looks very much like the one you threw down there earlier, to a wire in the floor.
I'm going to untie it.
You untie it, and you have a fusion core now. You're holding a fusion core.
Taking my fusion core.
All right. So as you
we might at some point go back to Red Rocket gas station and bring back our robot from there.
Okay, so you walk along, and you make your way to the elevator, and there is a problem. There is no obvious way for you to get back up, but there is an open vent on the floor where the robot put his metally mitts in there, and then the elevator lifted up. What would you like to do?
I'm going to kneel down and look into the vent to see if I can see what the robot did.
Okay, you kneel down and give me an intelligence science check. DC 2. One success. Okay. So you can identify that what the robot did was, with one hand, ripped apart a few wires and then fed them into each other to trigger the mechanism. However, if you try to do that, you are pretty sure that you would electrocute yourself. So you are not feeling particularly safe to do so.
I'm going to get my Pip-Boy happening and contact Jade.
Okay.
Hello? Jade, come in.
Jade here. What's
How is
going
it
on
going?
down there?
Mixed, to be honest. Slightly. We can't get the elevator to come back up to get back up. Are you still with the overseer? Does she know how we can maybe get this running?
And Jade will take a look at her like. Give me a minute, Augusta. I will.
Sure. We're not going anywhere, I guess.
Okay, so he will disconnect the Pippo again and like try to soothe her. Like, listen, I know this is a bit of a shock. I promise it. You will get used to it. What is your name?
Overseer Barstow. Olivia Barstow.
Olivia. Can I call you Olivia?
Well, I guess I'm not an overseer. I guess in a way I never was.
Oh, you was. I'm sure you have been taking very good care of this. Listen, Olivia, the my two companions is stuck downstairs. Can you help us get the elevator up so they can join us up here?
So she pats herself down, she reaches into the pocket of her overalls and she pulls out a plastic doohickey with two buttons on it, up and down, and a big antenna on it, and just says, "Use that."
Thank you. I might pass it on to Freddie.
If you just.
It might. I guess it's
Oh, okay.
easier. So,
So Freddie
because
takes.
I will stay with her.
Freddie takes it, walks into the vault, and presses the up a few times. Eventually, it connects to some kind of airwave connecty science thing that Michelle isn't smart enough to talk about, and the elevator starts to rise all of a sudden. And you, Carl, and Augusta are now above, and you can see Freddie. He signals for you to come outside, and you see Jade consoling the ghoulish overseer lady, while stupid Jim is slowly, like, well, he's not really moaning anymore. He's sitting up looking a bit concerned about the strange lady who has just appeared. And Scylla is there with her arm, just unsure of what the fuck is going on at this point. What would you like to do?
So, did you find what we needed?
No.
No.
Okay.
If there is down there, it's hidden somewhere and we can't find it. We need to ask the young lady here.
Yeah, but this
Motion
really isn't the
towards the
time looking
wall.
at the way she is just now.
What do you... Wait, hang on.
Did you find what Quincy were looking for?
There's some weapons. We could probably
Yep.
help. I'm pretty certain about that. We can probably help.
What was it you were looking for in my vault?
We came because our fabricator has broken, and we can't fabricate anything, and our community is at risk.
What vault are you from?
Me, 75 originally, but that's not where we are now.
Wait, 75? Like, you're not trying to repair 75's fabricator?
No, 75 doesn't... It's not still around. It's not still operating.
What, have they done a reclamation day?
In a sense.
What does that mean?
I don't want to talk about it right now. It's not important. So we left the vault. That's the important thing. We left the vault and we founded our own community in the wastelands here, in amongst all of this chaos, to try and just like make a piece of land that will work for us.
I mean,
And
hang on. Tell me about Vault 75. Like, how did it all work out?
What do you know about Vault 75?
Well, I don't suppose it really matters now. This is usually the kind of thing they tell me. They would say that Vault-Tec would say.
I was there. I know what happened, but I want to know how much you know before, so I don't have to tell you everything. I don't want to tell you lots of stuff you already know.
You were there.
I was there. I'm not a super soldier, but I could have been a super soldier.
Wait, they did it. Oh god.
Yeah, they did it. They did it.
I was on the team that helped devise the experiments for the vaults.
Right.
That
was you. And others, I'm guessing, but...
Well, I came up with a lot of experiments. There were clients, Rob Coe, Poseidon, like so many like corporate people who
Yeah,
paid.
and they did them. They did them. They absolutely did them.
I I designed so many experiments that were not picked up, but my experiments were taken up by 16, 54, 75, and 90.
One moment, please. Carl, can I talk to you a second?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to walk away a little distance and say very quietly, I don't think I can talk to this person civilly.
Gotcha. I'll take care of this.
Thank you. I'm just going to sit here out of the way and sit on my hands.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of weapons right now, and this is not a great idea.
Absolutely. So I walk over to the ghoul, Olivia. Is she sitting on the ground?
Since
Or is she standing up?
since
Yeah.
you walked away, she has fallen back on her knees and is now looking over the horizon away from everyone, looking a bit dazed.
Okay. I'm gonna go and squat down right in front of her and look her straight in the eyes.
Jade is right beside her too.
Like, okay, look, I understand you're going through a lot of weird stuff right now. There's been a lot of things happening in the past 200 years that you're just now catching up to. But we have pressing issues. We need to know the fabricators in this vault, Vault 88, what happened to them?
I sorry, give me a second. I never thought that. I mean, it was just I was in an office, coming up with ideas to sell. I
That
wasn't.
Hey,
doesn't matter right now, Olivia.
lady,
We
we
will.
can talk about it all day until
Right.
the two-headed cows come home
You were looking.
tomorrow.
So you were
Right
looking for a
now,
fabricator
fabricate.
for not 75, but for your own place, right? Did you use
Correct.
did you use a GEC?
It is not
Yes.
important right now, Olivia. Please.
We need that fabricator, or apart from it at least, to fix ours. Where are the fabricators
I don't.
that in your vault? We
Before
found the fabricator room, it's empty.
before the lights went off, I mean, we never built it. Look, with this vault, most of it was unbuilt, and then the bombs fell, and me and Louis and Dale used what we could that was there to build as much of the vault as possible between us. But we couldn't even begin with the fabricator because Louis is the tech. I was the overseer. Like, I have some technical knowledge, but not nearly what Louis has, and Louis was not nearly technical enough to set up a fabricator. That was required, especially team was required for that. So we just left the fabricator in his boxes. But then when the lights went off, the boxes were there, and then I hid in my office. I heard Dale crashing and doing something, and then when the lights came on, I had a look outside quickly, and Dale smashed them up. And I believe he took some pieces. That's why I ran after him. That's Vault Tech intellectual property, but they don't exist anymore, do they? So it doesn't matter. So what the
Okay.
fuck was
So
I
the
doing?
robot took some pieces and probably may have the part we need going real fast in that direction. I point towards the entrance.
Yeah, like I don't know
Right.
what happened to him, right?
Okay.
He was lifting the desk in my office, right? Because I was doing my daily clean. And I have him
Okay.
lift up the desk because it's too heavy for me. And, I thought, I went off to turn on some music, because, like, my radio in the office was picking up this radio station. I like a diamond radio. And,
Okay.
but I couldn't find the station, so I was twiddling around. And then suddenly Dale went haywire, dropped the desk, almost smashed the computer, and then bolted down the stairs. Like, I followed him down. I saw him tear out the fusion core hole, like whole housing from the fucking generator. Then it all went dark. I was in the dark, and I just ran to my office and hid.
Okay, thank you. And I go back to Augusta. Okay, so you caught most of that, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah, I heard it.
That robot is on tracks, and it was moving pretty fast. It's going to be tearing up a lot of ground, leaving very clear tracks for us to follow. It shouldn't be a problem to find it. It's
Yeah,
just
but
a
have we
matter
got
of
the
time.
time right now? Like, okay, we've got a town that's about to get attacked, but we've got weapons, and we've got a piece of the vault that we need that's going. The piece of the fabricator that we need that is disappearing off at a rate of very, very
Great.
fast. And do we track it? Do we like just tell Quincy to come hide in the vault while we go and track down this robot? I don't even know where to start.
Hiding in the vault is probably not going to work for them with the radiation.
No.
So they're going to have to find a way to defend themselves. There's plenty of weapons downstairs, more than we can stash on Tumu. So we let them arm themselves and do the best they can to hold off the gunners. Because if we wait too much longer, that robot will be gone completely. And that's assuming someone else doesn't pick it up.
Well, I at least want some of that armor because I haven't got any, and frankly, since we've left Edinburgh, I've decided
Oh
that
yeah,
not having armor was a big mistake.
we should equip ourselves well, because we'll have probably a quite dangerous journey go ahead. Something set that robot off. It may have come from outside.
Do you think it was the
So
radio? I think it may have been the radio.
it sounds likely. So it may be going somewhere specific, in which case we need to be prepared. So we arm ourselves as best we can, and then Quincy can have the rest, and they can deal with their situation as best they choose. Because as we determined earlier today, even if we stop the gunners this time, we're not going to survive them coming again, as they were likely to do.
Yeah,
So it's a
you're
suicide
right.
mission for us, and as much as I want to help Quincy, it's not that valuable to me personally.
I mean, I
Scylla,
don't want anyone to die if I can help it, but yes,
Scylla
you're right. Of
overhears you
course.
and says, if you gotta go, you gotta go. You know, that's fine, but like, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna tell these people.
We found some weapons they might be able to use.
Quite a few, actually.
It's probably going to help a lot, actually.
I mean, we'll make do, but like, do you even know where that robot was going?
I can
Nope.
track it.
I mean, how?
It's a big robot on tank treads going fast over open terrain. It's going to leave very clear tracks.
Stupid Jim jumps up and says, "Yeah, look, there's the tracks there. All right, I'll start. Let's follow him." And he starts walking down the pathway. He starts
Not
walking
quite
down the
yet,
road a
Jim.
bit. But then he turns around and says, "Uh, yeah, they stop here."
Where is he? Where he says they stop?
He's about 10 feet away, and on the ground. At that point, it was like soily sand, like something in between the two, irradiated ground dirt. But then the tracks lead onto a bit of road, and the tracks stop dead there. And it's assuming that the robot went on the road that goes on a way. Meaning that at that point, it would be very, very, very hard to track exactly where the robot went. Because there's no track to follow at that point.
Well, I and Freddie was upstairs, so one of us should have been able to see approximately uh, uh,
Direction.
where Yeah.
You need to
Thank
give
you.
me a perception check. What kind of perception check? I'm going to find out right now. Ba-ba-ba-ba.
And then make one for Freddie too, if you can. Just.
I think because this is... You were very, very... It happened very fast. So this wouldn't be science. This would be perception. I think this would be a perception survival. Because it's very instinctive. And I think you would need to make a DC 3 to get any kind of accuracy, a DC 2 to get at least a rough direction, and a DC 1 will get you nothing. So you need at least 2 successes to get something, 3 successes to get something more specific.
Use one of our pushes if you want.
Yeah.
But I will say before you do this that there's a lot of wasteland in every direction, so you would probably not be able to work out a location. You would be able to at best work out a direction.
Yeah. Okay. This should be. Let's go. There you go.
All right. So Jade, you were on the ball. You were very alert when Dale barreled out of the vault entrance. It turned its right to your left as it did, throwing stupid Jim off his chassis, and immediately went down the dirt track that quickly turned into old cement tarmac, and you saw it heading north. The only things to the north that you know about are the ruins of Boston, and beyond that, several little settlements beyond to the north of the city, and various little farms and trade routes. So this robot could be heading roughly anywhere north, but that's roughly the direction it was going in, towards where Boston is.
Okay.
Okay.
So I will convey that, like, I don't know, later, but Jade will also, like, tell Olivia, like, listen, the experiments didn't went, I don't know if you could say as they were supposed to. It was messy. It was not what good people thought it would be. Right now, I don't think you should go close to Augusta. Right now, even though you were more people, you were not the only one, she will blame you for now. And
She should blame me.
yeah. Again, you were not alone, and
I wasn't thinking
none
about
of us.
I wasn't thinking about the people. I just wanted to be selected as an overseer for a vault.
Yeah.
I mean, that
Yeah.
one particularly, like, that was a military contract. Like, that was a government one. Government ones got dark.
Yeah. We can talk about that later. Jade, we need your help to get the crates loaded up on the elevator so we can get them up.
Of course.
Okay, we could speed through this because it's just like, you know, a bit, you have to go through every step of this. So let's montage it. So, Jade, you go down. Freddie hands you the remote. Olivia comes with you. She's feeling incredibly guilty and through context has got the gist that there's a bunch of people in Quincy that probably do with some help. She's lost, it's only two people she's hung out with the last 200 years, so she's just thinking, I'm just going to go with this, whilst occasionally tears rolling down her ghouly face. You go down, you load the crates onto the elevator easily, you push them out, and there is almost certainly too much here for Tumu to do in one trip. So it would probably take you a couple of trips, maybe one trip with a bunch of stuff, grab some hands in Quincy to go and back and grab the rest. And by the time you've done all of that, it is now about 11:30 at night and it is pitch black. The only thing
It is bedtime.
The only thing lighting you up at this point outside the vault is the light from inside the vault.
And we are at time.
We are.
We are. So, what about we go to bed? Both in game and out.
Yeah. Good call.
Alright. There is one thing I was hoping to do that would take maybe 10 minutes. Do we have 10 minutes?
I
do that.
Wonderful. That would be a suitable ending point. I, of course, plan too much for the session, as I always do. But there is something that I think I could fit in easily in 10 minutes that would be worth it. So, you all gather up the stuff and head into Quincy to sleep tonight. You stay up for a little bit. You're all sharing the same house as before. Overseer Barstow, Olivia, takes up a place at Benny's place. Benny is someone that you have not really talked to directly that much. When you approach town, he runs up to Scylla and says, I still haven't heard from the Minutemen. They're still out there. And Scylla says, alright, we'll deal with that in the morning. I've fucked my arm up. And he's like, oh, Jesus, you alright? And starts looking after Scylla. Augusta.
Jade really wants Olivia close to him for several reasons.
Okay, so Olivia just says to you, Jade, I don't know this place, I don't know these people, and I think Augusta wants to murder me, and to be honest, she's right, so where should I go?
You stay with me. We can talk more in the morning. I promise I will fill you in on the outside world, and I may be able to help you a bit with that guilt too.
Thank you, Doc. This is a nightmare. And I'm the nightmare. And so you take...
Well, she's... Yeah. While she's having her existential crisis, I'm going to take Augusta aside this time and say, when we wake up tomorrow and we leave, you should grab the power armor before Jim gets a hold of it again. Because I'm assuming he's not sleeping in the power armor.
Oh, this is something I was going to get to actually just now. So, when Jim walks back into town with you, Gut Guzzler is sat outside of Caroline's shop. She has been drinking with Caroline and has had a few and is feeling it, and she runs up to stupid Jim in the power armor and says, Jim, you in there? And stupid Jim's pulls the helmet off and says, hey, Cassie, how you doing? And Cassie / Gut Guzzler, you know her as Gut Guzzler. Stupid Jim knows her as Cassie. She beckons his head down. He leans down. She whispers something in his ear, and Jim just goes, Oh. And immediately the power armor bursts open. He jumps out and holding Cassie / Gut Guzzler's hand, they run off down the road into the night.
Good for them.
The power armor closes itself back up and is just standing there. It's probably almost certainly safe where it is, but if you want to move it indoors, you can. You have that option, whatever you want to do. Doesn't really matter either way.
Might move it indoors and let it air overnight a little.
Mm-hmm.
Solid plan.
Yeah.
So, I guess, Carl, you get in it, you walk it into where everyone is staying. You're all sharing the same house, but you all have different bedrooms. And you talk for a bit, sort of talk about what's happened, share information, get everything in order. Olivia has gone up to Jade's room and has made a little place for herself to sleep at the foot of Jade's bed. And everyone starts to go to bed. But Carl,
Yes.
when you go to bed, you lie down in bed and you hear and feel a weird crinkling under your back. You reach behind you and pull out a bit of paper. And the paper says... Blah, 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 blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Red Rocket, 2 a.m. Be there, or your idiot and his girl die. Tell no one, come alone, unarmed. We will know otherwise. It's been about like an hour since you arrived back in town. Everyone sort of chatted, had a bit to eat maybe, and went to bed. You are alone in your room with this note. What would you like to do? It is now roughly 1 a.m., I'd say.
Okay. I'm going to go to this supposed meeting. I'll take Sniff with me, obviously. And I'm going to not tell anyone, but I'm going to slip that note under Augusta's door.
Okay, Augusta, I need you to make a roll. I just don't know what, because I was not anticipating this.
I was literally rolling like a manual dice just to decide whether I was going to still be awake or not, to be honest. I was sitting here going to roll a d10.
I'd say this has been a long and heavy day. And so it's 50-50. You're either up going through some kind of weird trauma rage thing, or you're so knackered by it all, you are so unconscious you can't hear a thing. So I tell you what. Roll 1d20. Above 10, you are awake. Above 11 and up, you're awake. 10 and below, you are asleep. You are so zonked out from the day, you are completely unaware of this bit of paper. So Carl alone makes his way to the 2 a.m. meet. Now, you and Sniff approach, and there are lights. The lights are on.
I'm just about to say, if you stop now, that's a cliffhanger. We can...
Oh, no. The cliffhanger is not done yet.
Okay.
So as you approach, the lights are on. And you can see vaguely 4 gunners, one of whom is Sergeant Bauer. 3 of them are pointing guns at Stupid Jim and Gut Guzzler, who are on their knees, hands behind their head.
All right, then. Well, I guess that's the cliffhanger we're ending on.
Told you. So yeah. thank you for bearing with me for that extra 10 minutes. I really appreciate it. Now you can understand why. And yeah.
Right.
How was it for you? Was that alright?
Yeah, that was a lot, but yeah, it was
Yeah.
good.
Alright. Good. So that's the episode. Tune in next time to figure out, to see what Carl does. What's going on there. Ooh, suspense. And follow us on all of the things in the description, and you can go to, you should follow our Discord, you should do all of those things. If you're watching on YouTube, check out the description-y thing that I'll be writing in about 10 minutes, my time, but in the past, your time. And yeah, everyone, I guess, say your pluggables if you've got anything to plug.
Nothing from me today.
Clickety clack stuff on norsefoundry.com. They're doing some awesome dice, pins, stuff like that.
We've got more games coming up later this week. On Tuesday, we've got the first in a Rivers of London campaign, which I've temporarily forgotten the name of. I'm very sorry, Mark. And Kat will be in on that, and a couple of new people who were on the Mothership one-shot we did. And then on Saturday, with the following wind, we'll be back to Vampire the Masquerade, which is the 5th episode in that chronicle, and then this again next weekend.
Adventures in Weird Bollocks.
Adventures in Weird Bollocks. That's a very Mark kind of, yeah. There'll be magic, contemporary, fantasy setting in London. Should be interesting.
Sounds great. I'll be watching unless I'm dead. In that case, it's the final episode of Fallout. Thanks for watching. No, I'm kidding. I intend to be fully alive. I intend to be fully alive for next Sunday and all through the week. So yeah, tune in then and see what the hell is going on with Carl, Gut Guzzler, Stupid Jim, and the strangely alluring Sergeant Bauer. Thanks everyone. Night night. Goodbye.
Night.
Right.